Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for this press conference for the Palisades Fire for Tuesday, January 14, 2025. My name is Thomas Schutz, Public Information for the Palisades Fire. Some quick stats on the incident. We're at 23,713 acres. This fire is 17% contained, and we have over 5,200 personnel assigned to this fire. For an operational briefing, we're going to call up our incident operations.
Hello, my name is Christian Litz. I'm a Battalion Chief with LA County Fire Department, and I'm partnered with CAL FIRE Team 2 as Operations Section Chief. I'm happy to say that there's very little activity around the fire's perimeter when it comes to visible flames. However, we do have a lot of heat along the edges, so we're working very hard to mitigate any of those sources so we don't have any unwanted activity. If I start up here on the top, I'll start at Dirt Mulholland that we call here on the north side of the fire, the north right side. It's all looking really good as far as the same footprint it has been since for the last 24 hours. However, we do have an amount of resources walking all across that, getting deep inside the interior, making sure that there's no heat that can cause any issues or any wind bursts that could blow it over the line. So we're working on that. Coming down into Mandeville Canyon Road with those community there, we still have resources all around the structures. Up behind them, cutting line on top of them, which is separating the fuel from the black and the green. And that allows us to ensure that there's a very limited probability of any kind of escape. Also, those resources are getting behind those structures, getting rid of any isolated heat sources so that it could not impact any more structures. As we come down to Westwood and down into Riviera all the way to the coast bordering Santa Monica, everything's looking really good as far as activity. It's down, but we still have those heat, so we still have resources deep inside those structures, concentrating on the structures that are standing up, making sure that we don't have any adverse fire damage to those structures. Continuing along Pacific Palisades, and then down to Topanga, the beach side, Las Flores, and all the way to Malibu there on the bottom left of the map, same story. We have a lot of resources still going around all the structures that are standing, taking care of the heat that are the structures that have been destroyed. We also have some infrastructure repair happening around PCH there, so that's going really good, trying to get things back. So get people back in their homes as soon as possible, but that can't be done until the entire area is safe. Interior, again, there's structures inside, still have that presence. Everybody's still working really hard out there. Proud of our firefighters. They're not giving up. They're still working, not gonna stop working until everything's taken care of and made safe for the public that we serve. Going back over here to the left side of the map as we move up into the area of Montanito, again, that line is very minimal activity. We still have heat using IR flights from the airplanes up there. And using helicopters. We still have minimal helicopters in the air for need, but they're still up there helping us find those heat sources so we can pinpoint the resources so they can go right to that and make sure that we secure that edge, again, limiting any probability of any kind of escape. Coming across the top, still working, making the control line as we come around to the Fernwood area and Topanga Canyon. And we still have resources all in those structures, again, making sure they won't have any adverse damage to those structures, and we're securing the line as we go. Crews continue to push all the way up. We're finished with all the hand line and uniform right here, which we're calling, but it's in the area by Topanga Parks and to the right of Sylvia Parks, and securing those edges deeper and deeper interior and then back up to the top of the map that you see there. We still have resources working on the outside, building contingency line. What that is, just another layer that will help us for any adverse effect of fires with this wind, so we're always preparing, right? I always say we plan to keep the fire small, but we prepare for any other event that happens. We're also staying vigilant and having resources available and identified to respond to any kind of new starts in the area, but also if it's outside of the area, we still want to help the public with the wind, so we're going to respond and help in any way we can. We still have a robust air fleet out there that we can deploy at any time to respond to any kind of heat or smoke and help the ground resources so we can pinpoint that activity in there. Everybody's working really hard and safe. Thank you for allowing us to serve the public. Thank you.
Next up, our incident meteorologist.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Rich Thompson, incident meteorologist with the National Weather Service, assigned to the Palisades incident. Weather-wise, when this fire broke out 1 week ago, the area was experiencing what was one of the strongest Santa Ana wind events we've seen in recent memory. Those historic Santa Ana winds combined with extremely dry fuels out there, extremely dry vegetation, led to very extreme fire weather conditions across the incident there last week, and that allowed the fire to grow very explosively and very rapidly in the first couple days of the fire. After those first couple of days, the area has remained under a persistent weak to moderate Santa Ana wind flow pattern, and so that's going to continue for one more day. We still have expectation of some moderate Santa Anas developing across the fire tonight and during the day tomorrow. That's going to maintain the critical fire weather conditions across the area, and therefore that's why we have a red flag warning still in effect for this area until 6 p.m. Wednesday evening. So again, critical fire weather conditions, red flag warnings in effect until 6 p.m. Wednesday evening. Now, by Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, I expect the critical conditions to diminish, and then for Thursday into the weekend, we're actually get back to a more normal weather pattern here for this part of the country, kind of a nice onshore sea breeze during the day, bringing cooler temperatures, higher humidity, which will all help with the firefighting and fire control efforts. But then, unfortunately, looking into next week, we have another round of Santa Ana winds potentially affecting the area. But definitely, for at least for the weekend, we should get a couple of days respite from these Santa Ana winds.
Now I'd like to invite all of our speakers up to the stage. Los Angeles Fire Department.
Good afternoon, everybody. Joe Everett, part of the incident command team representing Los Angeles City Fire Department. I just want to thank the public. The amount of resilience you've shown as the dust settles is unbelievable. I've had people of the public, I know that their house burned down and they're asking me what they can do to help. You know, the better question is what can I do to help, or even the better question, how can we help each other? The second, just small story I want to tell you. I had some business here in base camp today with a member of our public safety partners with the Los Angeles County lifeguards running a vital role in the base camp today. I asked him how he's doing, and he said good, despite the fact that his house burned down, and so did his parents. And he's in there working because it means more to him to be a part of this community and rise above the ashes than anything else right now, and helps him get his mind off it. On to business. LAFD repopulation is our top priority right now. Our top priority is a safe return back home, okay? So doing that, what we're doing is we're conducting thorough damage assessments, and we're in partnership with our USAR teams, our hazmat teams, and LAPD. The second thing is once we complete that, we're going to collaborate with city entities, those being Department of Water and Power, Gas Company, Public Works, LACD Building and Safety, just to name a few. We'll keep you updated because I believe that's vital information. Again, I want to thank you for your support throughout this tough situation. Also, for the most up-to-date info, I'd like to give you two emails. We'll also discuss it again as we move through this press conference. That's emergency.lacity.gov, and the second one that you may be familiar with is LAFD.org. Please go to those for your most up-to-date information. Thank you.
Los Angeles County Sheriff.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Commander Christine Coles. I'm with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, serving as the Unified Incident Commander from the Sheriff's Department Incident Management Team for the Palisades Fire Response. I'd like to provide you an update on our operation. We currently have over 100 Sheriff Department personnel, including search and rescue personnel and National Guard personnel assisting with the operation. Our department personnel are currently deployed on missions which include looter suppression, evacuations, road closures, humanitarian relief, and roving and security patrols. Currently, no new evacuations are being performed. As of this afternoon, we have made 7 arrests related to the Palisades fire involving looting, unauthorized entry into an emergency area, battery on a peace officer, and additional charges for weapons and narcotics possessions. We currently have 5 confirmed deaths as of this afternoon within the LASD jurisdiction due to the Palisades fire, and there are currently 3 missing person reports. The curfew was established earlier over the weekend and is still in effect from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. and until further notice. The curfew will be strictly enforced, and we urge all individuals to comply with the curfew to avoid the affected areas unless you're authorized personnel. Any unauthorized personnel will be subject to arrest. In collaboration with LA County Fire Urban Search and Rescue Team and multiple other agencies, search and rescue operations are being conducted in designated areas which have been affected by the fire. The goal of the searches is to ensure the areas are made safe prior to entry and to ensure that every resident is accounted for. I know that community members are very anxious to return to their homes, but your safety has to be our primary concern. There are many areas where fire personnel are still working and search and rescue operations are ongoing. There is damage to roads and guardrails and large debris blocking the roadways. Thorough searching must be conducted to render these areas safe and to provide conclusion for those that have been reported missing. We're in constant discussions to determine whether repopulation is possible, but we do not currently have any firm dates for the opening of any of the affected areas. We appreciate any patience and understanding that you have for us during this tragedy. Thank you.
Los Angeles County Fire.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Harris. I'm Deputy Chief, Los Angeles County Fire Department. I oversee the Central Operations Bureau, and I'm also one of your Unified Incident Commanders. I'd like to give you our damage assessment report numbers. As of today, 35% of the damage inspections have been completed for the Palisades incident. For residents seeking that information, please go to recovery.lacounty.gov to view the map showing our current damage assessments. Please note that this information is updated on a daily basis. As indicated by our meteorologists, severe fire weather will continue through tomorrow. Therefore, these winds will produce hazardous fire behavior situations for our firefighters on the line. We ask for the patience of our residents as we continue to hold our current posture as far as preparedness for this fire behavior. We understand that the shutoff of the power can be of inconvenience to our residents, but we ask that you please be patient and understand that the shutoff of the power is necessary to prevent the growth of any large fires. We also ask that our unhoused neighbors do not start any warming fires during this fire weather event. Anyone experiencing homelessness shall seek shelter through the Los Angeles County or the city so that we can ensure that you have housing during this period. Repopulation, again, as been stated, will not occur until all areas are deemed safe. Your safety, again, remains our primary concern. Resources for residents impacted in the fire areas are available at lacounty.gov/emergency. On another note, I am happy to share that our LA County CL 415 that was struck by a drone earlier during the firefight has been repaired and is now available for response. In order to prepare our residents, we just would recommend that our residents go to fire.lacounty.gov/RSG for ready, set, go, and set to leave, and be ready to leave in the event of an evacuation and or order. And also, we would encourage you to double check to make sure that your cellular device is not set to prohibit any type of alerts in the event of an evacuation or evacuation warning or order. Lastly, I'd like to continue to recognize just the support that we continue to receive from Supervisor Lindsay, all city, state, and local officials, and our public safety partners that have been steadfast in their leadership and support through this unprecedented disaster. And to our first responders, we want to just say thank you for your continued dedication, resilience, and courage, and your commitment during this catastrophic event. Thank you.
Los Angeles Police Department.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Commander Steve Embrick. I'm the LAPD Incident Commander assigned to the Palisades Fire. I want to let the public know that as we enter into another period of dangerous high winds, we remain deployed, ready to assist with any additional evacuations should the need arise. While peak winds are not expected to be as strong as the last week's wind event, they still pose a threat. If you are asked to evacuate, please listen to all evacuation orders as if they are a life-saving measure. As has been the case over the last few days, the LAPD is focused on maintaining your safety and the safety of your properties as we move forward. LAPD officers are still performing increased patrols in the areas impacted by the fires, and we ask that for your continued support and cooperation, especially with our officers who are deployed at various checkpoints throughout the evacuation zones. We understand the public's frustration and your desire to see your homes firsthand. Until CAL FIRE tells us that the impacted areas are safe for repopulation, we cannot allow you to return. I am pleased to announce that the LAPD will be partnering with Team Rubicon, which is a non-governmental organization. Volunteers from Team Rubicon will be present and available at our traffic control points through the Palisades fire impacted area to provide and share information to the community members and to the public at large. For the upcoming 24-hour period, LAPD will continue to deploy approximately 500 officers to the impacted areas with the support of the Los Angeles Airport Police, Port Police, and National Guard, who have deployed over 500 soldiers who are assigned to the Palisades incident. We are very grateful for their support. We are supporting the fire area with these badly needed resources. We'll continue to respond to calls throughout the city. I would like to thank our LAPD officers who are working hard on overtime away from their homes and families, going the extra mile to keep Los Angeles safe. We are actively investigating all reports of missing persons and have dedicated resources to these efforts. As of this morning, we have 35 reported missing. 20 of those have been found safe. 2 have been found deceased. 13 remain unaccounted for. However, none are presumed to be deceased, but have yet to be positively identified. Arrests. Total number of arrests in the Palisades related to the Palisades fire incident are 14. 3 are for failure to obey curfews, 1 for impersonating a police officer, 1 for impersonating a firefighter, 2 unauthorized entry into closed emergency area, 1 DUI, 1 vandalism, 1 possession of ammunition and burglary tools, 2 for burglary, 2 for conspiracy to commit burglary. We have 3 noteworthy arrests throughout the outside fire zone, very significant to our efforts as we continue to battle fires that threaten our community. On Sunday night, our North Hollywood officers responded to a call of a possible arson suspect who was using a barbecue lighter to light fires. Officers arrived on scene, and the suspect was arrested for an outstanding felony warrant for arson and booked into Valley Jail section. On Monday, 2 additional suspects related to the fires. The first took place at 5700 block of Van Nuys Boulevard at approximately 16:30 hours. Our West Valley officers responded to a radio call of an arson suspect who had ignited nearby brush. Upon the officers' arrival, Los Angeles Fire Department was at scene, extinguished the fire, and directed the officers to the possible suspect, who was taken into custody without incident. That suspect was also booked at Valley Jail section. Looting is not just a crime against property. It also takes away any sense of security from evacuated residents, and it will not be tolerated. LAPD officers are working around the clock to prevent looting in the impacted areas, and we identify and apprehend those responsible. However, we cannot do this alone. We need your help. We are asking that members of the community should join us in the effort by reviewing your personal security footage, whether from Ring cameras, home security systems, or other recording devices. Even seemingly small details like this can make a big difference in our investigations. If you notice anything suspicious or potentially connected to these incidents, please report it to us immediately. You can do so anonymously through Crime Stoppers by calling Los Angeles Area Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. or by visiting lacrimestoppers.org. You can also provide information regarding the Palisades fire by submitting tips by texting ATFLA to 63975, then follow the link to create a report. Our collective safety depends on the partnership between the police and the community. Together, we can ensure that those responsible for the crimes are brought to justice and our neighborhoods remain safe. Animal Services started their efforts to support residents and would like to check on pets who have been left behind. To help residents gain access to pets that were left behind, Animal Services is accepting calls by creating a list for CAL FIRE to assist with facilitating reunification with pets. The phone number is 888-452-7381. You will need to follow the menu options to place your request. Additionally, between 8 and 5 p.m., you can call 311 and ask for the West Los Angeles Animal Shelter to check on a pet. You can also go to the shelter in person, which is located at 11361 West Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, or to the command post located in Zuma Beach and request to speak to the law enforcement liaison officer. This shelter will require you to provide identification and authorization to enter your residence, as well as a key or key code to gain access. In closing, I want to reiterate that our department is committed to the recovery efforts for however long that takes. We will continue to work alongside our partners and to make sure that the community has the resources you need to recover and ultimately rebuild. Thank you for all your patience and cooperation during this difficult time.
Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Medina, Medina, and I'm the acting special agent in charge of the LA Field Division. I would first like to send my condolences to all the Angelinos during this tragic time. These wildfires have caused immeasurable heartbreak and incomprehensible losses. As many of you already know, due to the size and scope of the Pacific Palisades fire, ATF was requested to lead the origin and cause investigation alongside our partners. ATF possesses unparalleled expertise in determining the origin and cause of fires, even under the most complex and challenging conditions. ATF had certified fire investigators on scene, providing initial assessment on Friday. During that survey, we determined we would bring out an additional expertise. We activated ATF's National Response Team, which we refer to as the NRT. This is the 7th NRT activation this fiscal year and the 927th time since the program began in 1978. The NRT offers a comprehensive set of resources for fire investigations, including certified fire investigators, chemists, electrical engineers, accelerant detection canines, and state-of-the-art fire research laboratories. The NRT is comprised of 3 regional components, organized geographically to cover the United States. The team provides an immediate and sustained nationwide response capability, deploying within 24 hours of notification. Approximately 20 individuals arrived from around the country over the weekend. In addition, we have 10 additional agents from ATF's Los Angeles Field Division dedicated to this investigation. The NRT is also supported by ATF's intelligence research specialists, digital media specialists, and other technical experts within ATF. The NRT also has individuals who possess wildland fire investigator certifications. Yesterday morning, we had our initial in-briefing and began collaborating with our partners from LAPD, LA Fire, CAL FIRE, U.S. Forest Service, and the U.S. Attorney's Office, along with the District Attorney's Office. Within ATF personnel and our partners, together there are about 75 dedicated personnel. The NRT started by breaking investigators down into 2 components, a group that processes the scene and a group that follows investigative leads. The team processing the scene went out yesterday and was out there again this morning at 8 a.m. The team processing the leads has been gathering video and photos from residences in the area, as well as video and photos from social media, along with conducting critical interviews of witnesses and first responders. We are going through all the 911 calls and talking and interviewing residents. Daily, the components come back together in the evening to share information and ensure investigative continuity. All of this is going to take time. We know everyone wants answers, and the community deserves answers. ATF will give you those answers, but it'll be once we complete a thorough investigation. We have no timeline on when this will occur. There have been many theories floating around in the media, and I won't get into those because they are all theories at this time. ATF and the NRT and our investigative partners need to remain objective, follow the scientific method, and follow systematic approach to this wildfire investigation. We are following all the leads and processing all the physical evidence. ATF is determined to leverage every available resource to deliver a thorough and transparent investigation. When we have more information, we will provide you those facts. If you, the public, have any information to provide regarding the Pacific Palisades fire, please submit tips by texting the code ATFLA to 63975, and then follow the link to create a report. Tips can remain anonymous. Thank you.
City of Los Angeles Emergency Management Department.
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Silverman. I'm a captain with the Los Angeles City Fire Department, and I'm here on behalf of the City of Los Angeles Emergency Operations Center, or EOC, as the Assistant Joint Information Center Manager. The EOC for the City of Los Angeles serves as a centralized facility, a nerve center located in downtown Los Angeles. During small emergencies and large disasters, both natural and human-made, it provides multi-agency coordination, information, and resources necessary for disaster response as well as recovery. The goal of the EOC is to coordinate the overall city effort to support field operations, restore essential infrastructure and services, and return the city to normal operations. It also oversees the recovery efforts within the city. At each step along the way, it also coordinates support from and to county, state, and federal emergency management agencies. The EOC functions under the guidelines of the National Incident Management System, or NIMS, and is managed by the city's Emergency Management Department, EMD, which plans for and responds alongside the LA City and Police Departments, LA City Fire and Police Departments, to complex incidents and disasters that affect communities of Los Angeles. While our EOC was initially activated to support emergency operations since the onset of this incident, we have fortunately now been able to shift our focus to the recovery phase. As you have heard from all of our representatives, it will be a long road to recovery. However, we want to assure everyone that the City of Los Angeles is here to support you every step of the way. Some initial steps you can take if you were impacted by this disaster. Visit lacity.gov for information and resources related to recovery. You can start a damage assessment claim. This can also be accessed by visiting lacity.gov and accessing the LA Wildfire Recovery Resource 2025. Assistance for individual families, property owners, businesses, and housing service can be found there as well. The City of Los Angeles is partnering with the state and FEMA to provide a disaster recovery center. This is a one-stop information and resource center designed to assist those who have lost vital records, which could include birth certificates, death certificates, driver's licenses, social security documentation, etc. They also will help those who have experienced loss or damage to their homes or businesses with such tasks as applying for disaster relief loans. It also provides referrals to mental health counseling and other services. As of now, since the opening of the Disaster Relief Center located within the City of Los Angeles at 1 o'clock this afternoon, we've already assisted over 55 households with that recovery process. That Disaster Recovery Center will remain open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and will remain open as long as necessary to provide services to those impacted by the Palisades wildfire. Again, for more detailed information, such as locations, hours of operation, please visit lacity.gov. Thank you.
CAL FIRE.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Jim Hudson. I'm the Incident Commander for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 2 and Unified Incident Commander for the Palisades Incident. I've had a productive 24 hours. I'm happy to report that today the fire has remained in its footprint with no growth. Crews continue to reinforce the lines, build contingencies. If there's a need for them, we will be prepared. And we are surging resources across this fire as necessary to respond to any hotspots on the perimeter or in and around or near the structures. A lot of crews, as you heard earlier, and we will continue to work 24-hour clock around the clock. Our air assets are been flying as much as possible and available. We've had good response from them and availability based on the weather, and will continue to do so, and that includes night flying aircraft. As you heard earlier, the DINS is damage inspections is occurring. We still have 25 teams deployed working as fast as possible to summarize and give a final report. When prepared, that'll be released. We also have our Watershed Emergency Response Team, or WERT, on scene. They continue to conduct soil burn analysis, and they expect that sometime late this week or the weekend, we will see a field assessment completed. So that is positive also. Regionally, we are prepared for these winds. We have surge and resources into the Southern California, into the region with pre-positioning. We've also stood up a mobilization center in Beaumont, and those resources are prepared to respond to any new and emerging fires. We will continue to provide information as we get it from the incident from our fact sheets. We are making gains. You can look at our website, fire.ca.gov, for real-time updated information that is updated throughout the day. And for preparations, you can go to readyforwildfire.org to see what you can do to prepare for any new fires. Thank you.
United States Representative Brad Sherman.
Sit it up right. As close as you can to me. Hello, I'm Brad Sherman. I represent this area in Congress, including the Palisades, Malibu, Brentwood, all of the areas affected by the Palisades fire. If you could bring that just a little closer here, a lot closer. Okay. AccuWeather is estimating the cost of these fires at between $250 and $275 billion. That will make it perhaps the second largest disaster in the history of America. I'm here to focus on the federal issues, but first I want to thank our first responders who are all here and have done so much to keep us safe. The focus here is on aid to those who have been hurt. You've got to go to disasterassistance.gov to see what FEMA can do. The first thing that will happen, if you have any insurance at all, is that you will get this letter. This letter is misleading. I have talked to the FEMA director 3 times. They are trying to fix it, but until they fix it, you will get this misleading letter that will tell you that assistance not allowed. Don't believe it. Assistance will be provided after you provide information about your insurance coverage. But until FEMA can determine what is your uninsured loss, the only thing they'll disperse to you is $770. Now that amount would be dispersed right away. The rest will require them gathering information from you about whether what you're insured for, whether your insurance covers temporary housing, etc. Now, when a lot of folks are underinsured, and they are going to have be eligible for a certain amount from FEMA. First, the $770, it's special. Then $43,600 to $43,500 to rebuild your home and to deal with housing issues. And if you qualify for that, the state of California will automatically add another $10,000. You can get, and these are grants, these are not loans, this is money you keep, for other purposes, including replacing your car, up to another $43,600. And that is a total of $97,970 in grants. That's a good chunk of change, but it's not what you need in order to rebuild a home if you're substantially uninsured. That's why our entire Los Angeles congressional delegation is going to be fighting to try to get those grants increased. Now, in addition to the grant program, the Small Business Administration has loan programs. For homeowners, they'll loan up to $500,000. And then if you have losses that are non-real estate losses, they'll loan up to an additional $100,000. It's a 4% loan, and payments are deferred for your first 12 months. For businesses and nonprofits who have been affected in the area, the loan amount, and the loan can be for physical damage or for economic damage, such as lost sales. The maximum loan is $2 million. The interest rate is 4%. The payments are deferred for 12 months. If, however, your business is one that's quite profitable and you could get the loan from the private sector, the interest rate is higher. But for most businesses, it's going to be a 4% loan. On the postal side, you can go to any post office, fill out the form, show the ID, and get your mail forwarded to anywhere you want. And then if your situation changes, you can have it sent somewhere else. From the IRS perspective, the IRS has, for all of LA County, whether you're affected by the fires or not, extended virtually every payment date and filing date all the way to October 15th. So check with your tax professional, but you may be in a position to make payments quite a bit later than you otherwise would figure you would. We have a telephone town hall. It's tomorrow. You dial in that number, which I'll leave there for a second. And as the other speaker pointed out, we have a center, and people are going to wonder where it is. It's the old West Side Pavilion on Pico. It's now a UCLA facility, but it's not quite at the UCLA campus. It's open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And finally, to get information, you can go to bradsherman.house.gov. Thank you. Look forward to working with you over the long haul.
California State Assemblymember Jackie Irwin.
Well, thank you very much, Congressman Sherman. That was very informative. My name is Jackie Irwin, and I represent the Palisades and Malibu in the State Assembly. I want to start off by saying it was a week ago this morning that we saw the first flames, the first smoke from the Palisades fire. And I want to thank our first responders who have been fighting in 24-hour shifts this fire for a week. In unsafe conditions, they have saved many, many homes. And I want to thank their families also. I also want to thank the public safety, sheriff, and deputies. But what a lot of the public doesn't see is we have all these logistic folks and support folks that are right here at the command center who have been supporting the firefighters. I also want to thank the PIOs who have kept our population informed. And finally, we have our firefighters from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation who have been out there, and we're very happy to report that the fire camps in LA will be staying open. I'm just going to cover a couple of quick things that we think are very important. I've mentioned before price gouging. A lot of the residents I'm speaking are trying to find rental housing or buying something, and they're seeing the prices double and triple. It is unethical, it is appalling, it is illegal, and you can report that to the Attorney General, but in our office you can also call us and we can file a report with the Attorney General and prioritize it to make sure that this practice stops. Debris cleanup. Many folks in the affected area want to know about debris cleanup. The state or the federal government is going to be covering it, but it will be covered. And we, as your state representatives, Assemblymember Gabriel, Senator Ben Allen, we will make sure that this gets done as quickly as possible so you can move on to the next step in your life. We are also talking about a legislative package. I think what's really important is to make sure to streamline development as much as we can. And I am introducing a bill with the assembly member that represents the Eaton Burn area for mortgage forbearance. So we are going to make sure that your community can be built back as rapidly as possible. Finally, I want to say there's an incredible amount of generosity in this community and frankly across the United States. And I want to thank all of you for your offers of food and diapers. I think for a lot of the foundations, they're at the point where they would really appreciate cash donations that can directly go to the victims of these fires. So there are community foundations and other groups that are collecting money that will directly go to the victims. And finally, you've heard a few times already about the Assistance Center. It is very confusing out there to navigate all the aid that is available. So there is the West Side Assistance Area, but for those of you that are watching and might not be close to that, the East Side location is at the Pasadena City College Community Education Center. And there are at least 20 different groups that can help you with all your questions. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have the Colonel for the California National Guard.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Manuel Areno, Commander of Task Force 143 with the California National Guard. We are here to support the state and local law enforcement officers and emergency response partners, including LAPD, Santa Monica PD, the Sheriff's Department, and the California Highway Patrol in response to the Palisades fire. Our battalion has over 600 soldiers on the ground performing various tasks and functions throughout the area of operations. We have traffic control points and roving patrols. These key functions allow emergency responders unimpeded access within the fire perimeter. It further provides responders this function by keeping civilians to returning to evacuated residential areas before it can be made safe to do so. In addition, our presence prevents looting and other criminal activity from occurring on unoccupied neighborhoods. Soldiers from Task Force 143 are also assisting to secure critical emergency response infrastructure and staging areas, and are prepared for additional missions as requested by our partner agencies. You can expect to see uniformed California National soldiers and our tactical vehicles positioned throughout the area. I understand the feelings of frustrations and anxiety many are experiencing as they are prevented from returning to their homes. Please know that our soldiers live and work in the communities we support, and they are here to help by ensuring safety and the security of everyone. On behalf of the entire task force, I want to express my deep gratitude for the kindness and cooperation we've received from the community. The resilience and understanding of the people of LA inspire us to serve with greater purpose. Thank you for your patience and trust as we work together to get through this challenging time.
California State Assemblymember Gabriel.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Jesse Gabriel, really proud and grateful to represent the San Fernando Valley in the California State Legislature. Let me begin by extending our sincere gratitude, we can't say it enough, to the firefighters, to the first responders who are so ably serving our communities. Their dedication, their professionalism is next level, and I want you to know from the folks in the Valley where you are holding the line at Mulholland, we are unbelievably grateful for the work that you have done over these past couple days, and just thank you for everything you're doing. I do want to speak specifically to those who have been evacuated in Encino and Tarzana in the South San Fernando Valley. I was among those who got a mandatory evacuation order. I know that it can be stressful and scary to put your kids in the car at night and to pack up your bags and leave, but I just want to thank everybody who followed those evacuation orders and got out of harm's way. And I can empathize with folks who want to get back into their homes. I am very eager to get back into my home. My kids are eager to get back into our house. but I want to assure you that our communities are safe, thanks to the incredible work of the guards, and you heard from the colonel over here, the National Guard's men and women who are positioned there on Ventura Boulevard. There's a very heavy LAPD presence. I was able to go a couple days ago and drive through the neighborhoods that are still closed to the public. There is a very heavy presence from law enforcement there. The community is safe. It is calm. Your homes and belongings are well protected. And so I just want to thank LAPD and law enforcement and the guards who are keeping our community safe, and reassure everybody that it is the right thing to do to have followed those evacuation orders, and to thank them for their patience. Let me say one other thing about drones. Please, please, please do not fly a drone. When you put a drone in the air, you are putting our firefighters at risk, you are putting your neighbors at risk, you are putting our community at risk. And these amateur drones can and will, and we have seen this, impact the ability of our first responders to fight these fires. And so if you fly a drone, you're going to be found. I know that the FBI is on the ground here in Los Angeles. You will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Do not put a drone in the air. I also want to let folks in the Valley who have been impacted by any of this know that they can call our district office in Encino at 818-380-2460. Again, let me say that again, 818-380-2460. My staff is here, and we're available to help Valley residents with any of the issues that you may be dealing with as we work together as a community through this challenge. Finally, let me say one thing in my capacity, not only as a representative of the San Fernando Valley, but also as chair of the State Budget Committee. I know that we have a big rebuild ahead of us, and I want to assure folks in the Palisades and in all of the impacted communities, the communities that are impacted by this fire, that the state of California is going to be part of that rebuild. The state is working to provide resources for LA's recovery. You saw the governor yesterday announce a proposal that we're going to work through in our special session of a minimum of $2.5 billion in aid and recovery aid coming down here to Southern California. We're grateful for the governor's proposal. We're going to make sure that Assemblymember Irwin and others who are representing the communities that have been directly impacted by this have a seat at the table and are part of crafting that package of state aid that is going to come down here. And all of us, irrespective of where we live, we are Californians, we are Angelenos, we are Americans, we are in this together, and the state of California is going to be there with all of you, with all of the impacted communities for the long haul. So I want to thank everybody for their resilience. I want to thank them for listening to the first responders, for following their instructions. Thank the first responders again for their heroic work, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, Lindsay Horvath.
For the current state of this incident, the response is strong, it is sophisticated, and it is second to none. I extend my deepest gratitude to the more than 15,000 people who are on the front lines fighting this fire, and all of their families who provide them the support they need to continue this fight. I especially want to acknowledge the leadership of CAL FIRE on this incident, the excellence of Los Angeles County Fire, and the dedication of Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Currently, I know there are many people who are ready to be in the stage of recovery. For information from Los Angeles County on recovery, you can go to recovery.lacounty.gov. We also have a disaster response center at the UCLA Research Pavilion, formerly known as Westside Pavilion. You can go there this evening until 8 p.m., and it will be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and going forward. We also know that we aren't out of danger yet. In preparation for the winds that are coming this evening, there may be power shutoffs for your safety. If you have power now, charge your phones, charge your batteries, and be prepared to be without power, potentially, in order to save lives and protect those who are on the front lines. I know many are tired. Your spirits may be weary, but we will not break in Los Angeles County. We're here for you.
Mayor of Malibu, Doug Stewart.
Good afternoon. I'm Doug Stewart, of the City of Malibu. And I'd like to thank you for being here as we provide an update on the city's response to the Palisades fire. First and foremost, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the first responders, the emergency crews, and all the agencies and organizations who have been working tirelessly during the crisis. Your bravery and commitment in the face of such immense challenges is deeply appreciated, and we are forever grateful for your service. To our residents, I want to acknowledge the frustration and hardship you are experiencing. Many of you are understandably anxious to return to your homes. We hear you, and we're doing everything in our power to make that happen as quickly and safely as possible. However, we remain in the midst of an active fire incident. Red flag and extreme weather conditions are expected to persist through tomorrow, and crews are continuing their critical work to address multiple hazards in the affected area, such as gas leaks, hot spots, and smolders, addressing downed power lines, and ensuring overall safety. We know there's a perception that the city isn't doing enough. I want to assure you that your city staff has been working around the clock, along with our partners, to respond to this historic and unprecedented event. We are inspecting infrastructure, clearing streets of debris, assisting with damage assessments, and stabilizing the area to pave the way for a safe re-entry, while simultaneously getting everything in place for expedited rebuilds. We ask for your patience and understanding as our teams, along with law enforcement, fire crews, and utility providers, continue this vital work. We also need to address and dispel a rumor circulating in the community. There is no permit for expedited re-entry into an evacuation zone. Any claims or offers to provide such a permit are false. Additionally, we are aware that some residents have hired private contractors who are requesting access to the evacuation zones. Private contractor access is not permitted at this time. We urge all residents to adhere to the evacuation orders for their safety and the safety of the crews working in these areas. Damage assessments are ongoing, and residents in mandatory evacuation zones can visit recoverla.gov to access updates. This website is being updated with photos of properties as our partners, CAL FIRE, complete their assessments. By entering your address, you can see if your property has been evaluated and access available information. Southern California Edison continues to monitor conditions closely. SCE will re-energize circuits when it's safe, even if only for a few hours, to provide temporary relief to our residents. We encourage everyone to use these windows of power to charge your devices and prepare for eventual other outages. SoCal gas crews are actively working in Area 1. This is north and west of Pepperdine University. As of this morning, they have restored service to an additional 71 customers, bringing the total to 678 restored out of approximately 13,600 initially impacted. Restoration efforts will continue tomorrow in the northwest Malibu area. Residents can also visit SoCal Gas Community Information Booth at the Pavilion's grocery store at 29211 Heathercliff Road from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for updates and assistance. It's important to emphasize that access into the mandatory evacuation zones is not authorized at this time. This restriction is in place to protect both residents and the emergency crews working tirelessly in the area. If you have critical needs, we encourage you to call 310-456-2489. That's the city hotline. That's 310-456-2489 to provide your information. In addition to our immediate response, the city is committed to long-term recovery. Our team is also participating in the Disaster Recovery Assistance Center at Westside Pavilions, 10850 West Pico Boulevard. We have scheduled a town hall meeting for Malibu residents next Tuesday, January 21st at 6 p.m. at Malibu High School. This will provide an opportunity to hear updates, ask questions, and learn more about the ongoing recovery efforts. Again, access to the evacuation zones remains prohibited at this time. If you have critical needs, such as pet recovery or medications, our city team is working with Incident Command to compile a list. We know this fire has taken a profound toll on our community. I want to take a moment to acknowledge those who have suffered unimaginable losses. To the families who've lost loved ones and to those still searching for missing family members, please know that our hearts are with you. We grieve alongside you and stand ready to support you in any way we can during this incredibly difficult time. For ongoing updates specific to Malibu, we encourage everyone to follow the City of Malibu on our official channels, Facebook, Instagram, and X at City of Malibu, or visit our website, malibucity.org/PalisadesFire. For residents and our local businesses needing financial assistance, please visit recovery.lacounty.gov or the Disaster Resource Center. Thank you for your strength, your patience, and resilience during this incredibly challenging time. Together, we will overcome this crisis and we'll rebuild stronger than ever here in Malibu. Thank you.
That concludes our formal presentation portion. We'd now like to open it up to questions from our media partners. If you have a question, raise your hand. If you could state your name and agency in question, and my partner, Andy Van Sciver, will bring the mic over to you. Okay, seeing no questions, we'll close it out. Thank you very much for joining us, and a reminder that there will be a virtual community meeting tonight at 6:30. Thank you.